Shabbat Shalom. This week we read Parshat Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah, which begins with the death of Sarah and ends with the death of Abraham. This parsha is a changing of the guard, the passing on from one generation to the next. After the death of his wife, Abraham spends his remaining time preparing for the future, for the transition to Isaac. He arranges for Isaac to meet Rebekah, to marry, and take on the covenant. He is able to look to the future and know that it is in good hands. He ends his long life feeling content, knowing that he passed on what he needed to pass on, and that God is fulfilling God's promise to him. When we hear about death in the Torah, it is framed by life. The life of Sarah was 127 years. The life of Abraham was 175 years. Death is marked by life. In the moment of sorrow, we are reminded to look back, to zoom out, to take in all that led to this moment. Each of the years of our lives add up to where we are now. We are every age we've ever been. Rashi comments in regards to the breakdown of the years that each number should be seen separately and with its own merits. The beauty and innocence of Sarah at 7 and at 20 years old, according to Rashi, is still present at 100 years old. If this is true at the time of death, is it not also true for us in life? Our lives are a collection of our experiences. Each day builds on the last to make us who we are. Each lesson, each interaction, each mistake. No time is wasted in shaping us. So we must be careful how we fill our time. There is nothing more precious than our time, our years, our days, our hours, our minutes. If our time is so precious, how should we fill it? Our parsha offers an answer to this question. Between the deaths of Sarah and Abraham, we witness a beautiful experience of life. We see Isaac meeting Rebekah and finding love. As we read from the verses, Isaac had just come back from the vicinity of Be'er Lachai Roi, the well of the living one seeing me, for he was settled in the region of the Negev. And Isaac went out walking in the field toward evening, and looking up he saw camels approaching. Raising her eyes, Rebekah saw Isaac. She alighted from the camel and said to the servant, "Who is that man walking in the field towards us?" And the servant said, "That is my master." So she took her veil and covered herself. The servant told Isaac all the things he had done. Isaac then brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he took Rebekah as his wife. Isaac loved her, and thus found comfort after his mother's death. Love is how we should fill our days. Love gets us through the hardest times. Love for family, love for friends, love for strangers, love for animals, love for our planet, love for our country, love for a good book. When we choose how to fill our time, may we choose to fill it with love. Then, when our time is done, we will know, like Abraham did, that we lived a good life. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.